Question 10 says a rectangle has an area of 32 square feet and a perimeter of 24 feet. What is the shortest of the side lengths in feet of the rectangle? So you could potentially use a guess and check method here. I don't want to show you or go through guess and check methods though. I want to show you how you do it without having multiple choice values given to you. So let's use this as our rectangle, and we're going to say that this will be, I'm going to call it X and call this Y. I'm going to use X and Y instead of L and W just so you don't think that the length, sometimes it's common to think of the length as always being longer than the width. I don't want you to think that here because we're going to look for the shortest of the side lengths. So X and Y, I'm going to call my two sides here. An area of a rectangle is always going to be length times width, so in this case X times Y, and the perimeter is always going to be the sides always all added up together. So you've got X plus Y plus X plus Y. So in this case the area we know is 32 square feet. So you've got 32 equals X times Y, and the perimeter we know is 24. So you've got 24 equals, and there's two X's there plus two Y's there. So a couple of ways we can tackle this. We really have a system of equations here. We've got one equation here, we've got another equation here. So we could try to use elimination. I think substitution though is going to be an easier way to tackle this one. So on this one, I'm going to take 32 equals XY. I'm going to divide both sides by Y and solve for X that way. So if I do that, I'm left with 32 over Y equals X. So now I'm going to take that along with this equation. I'm going to plug that in for X. So 24 equals 2 times 32 over Y plus 2Y. This will allow me to solve for Y, and then in turn I can plug that back in to solve for X. So 24 would equal 64 over Y plus 2Y. So at this point I need to get Y by itself. I'm going to multiply everything by Y here. That'll get rid of this divided by Y part. So if I multiply everything by Y, I'm going to be left with 24Y equals, and the Y would go on the top there, canceling out with that Y on the bottom there. So 64 plus 2Y squared. And then here I'm going to subtract 24Y from both sides. That's going to leave me with 0 equals, and I'm going to write these in descending order of the powers of Y. So 2Y squared minus 24Y plus 64. I can divide everything by 2 at this point if I wanted to. That should make things a little easier to solve or deal with. So this is going to leave me with, I'm going to continue this problem over here. I'd have 0 equals Y squared minus 12Y plus 32. So at that point I'm going to try factoring. I've got Y and Y going here and here, and then trying to come up with a combination that will multiply to positive 32 and add to negative 12. So negative 8 and negative 4, that'll be the right combination. You may have used this in the past. If that helps you, this would be positive 32 there and negative 12. If that idea or that little visual helps you, go ahead and use that. Or you can write out the factors as well. But in this case, we'd have right here 8 as one answer, and 4 is actually our other answer. If we plug in either one of those back into Y right here, 32 divided by 8 would be 4, and 32 divided by 4 would be 8. So it looks like whatever value we pick for Y, the opposite value would be the value for X, or the other value would be the value for X. So 32 over 8 is 4, and 32 over 4 is 8. Therefore, it looks like the shortest side, no matter what we pick here or here, we're going to get the opposite thing, or the other thing being as the other answer there. So the shortest of the side lengths in feet of that rectangle would be 4, not 8. 8 would be the longer. So 4 would be our answer here. You might have noticed that that one, number 10, took a while. This one, I think you really could get away with doing a little guess and check with the answers and have gotten to the answer quicker. But you should know how to understand how to arrive at that answer without having the choices given to you or without using guess and check. So whenever possible, use the answers to your advantage to save yourself some time, but make sure you go into the test knowing how to do each question regardless of whether the choices are there or not.